I'm back, people. It's been a little while since my last MMA video. I feel like I've been in hiding since my last prediction video. After I said Tyron Woodley was going to beat Usman, and I was so confident in that pick, and what happened was a complete shutdown. Tyron put on the performance like that after I put all my marbles in him. What the hell? I also picked Ben Askren in that one, and when Robbie Lawler dumped him on his head and started raining down punches on him, I was like, oh no, I'm never picking again. But today we're going to talk about this weekend's fights, headlined by Edson Barboza and Justin Gaethje. It's going to be a mad main event, but we're going to talk about 4 fights on this card. Let's do this. Okay, so first fight I'm going to talk about is a female fight. It's going to be very easy on the eyes. It's going to be Karolina Kowalkiewicz, the Polish fighter, versus the karate hottie, Michelle Waterson. Michelle Waterson, I think in the last couple of fights, in her last 2 fights, have actually looked very impressive. She came off wins, I think, over Felice Herrig and Courtney Casey. Both bigger fighters than her, and she really, I think, beat them with just being a better fighter, being a better all-rounder, and she really impressed me in those last 2 fights. She's also looked like she's bulked up a little bit, so she's probably got a bit of strength behind her now. Karolina, on the other hand, she's coming off a loss versus Jessica Andrade, however you say it. That was interesting. I'd never seen her knocked out like that. It was quite sad to see, actually. So it should be interesting to see how she bounces back from that. Karolina's really only got 3 losses in her career, and they're pretty much to the best fighters in that division. She's got losses to Andrade now, Claudia Gadelha, as well as Joanna Jędrzejczyk. They're her 3 losses, so she's really only lost to the best fighters in that division. Waterson's up there, but I don't know if she really ranks as high as those fighters. So for me, this one, I feel like Waterson's best chance is to take her to the ground. She is, I think, a better ground fighter than Karolina, but Karolina does have good takedown defense. It should be interesting if she can get it there. If Waterson can't get it there, I mean, I feel like on the feet, I mean, Waterson's good on the feet. I mean, the karate hottie, right? So she's good on the feet, but I feel like Karolina's more of a technician on the feet, and will probably beat her on the feet. So I'm going to go with Karolina in this one. Not saying that Waterson can't win. I think Waterson, if she can get it to the ground, could very well win this fight, but I'm going to have to go with Karolina if it stays on the feet. The next fight I'm going to talk about is Josh Emmett versus Michael Johnson. Don't let Michael Johnson's record fool you. He's 19 wins and 13 losses, but he's got some big names on his resume. He's beaten guys like Poirier, Barboza, Joe Lozon, and Tony Ferguson. I mean, those are big names in the division. But he's also had some losses. Josh Emmett, on the other hand, he hasn't fought for a while. His last fight was when he was knocked out by Jeremy Stephens, and I feel like that fight was a long time ago. So I think he's coming back off a long layoff. Who knows what he's going to look like. Before that loss to Stephens, he looked very impressive. He knocked out Ricardo Lamas. That was very impressive. Ricardo Lamas is not an easy guy to knock out. So Emmett, of course, trains with the Team Alpha Male, I believe. So it should be interesting where this fight goes. Johnson is coming off 2 wins. He's beaten guys like Lobov and Andre Touchy-Feely, I believe, which again aren't massive names in the division. But he's coming off 2 wins, so he's got the momentum going. Josh Emmett coming off a long layoff should be interesting. I'm going to go with Emmett on this one. Michael Johnson, look, I think he can beat some of the best guys on any given day, but he's sometimes just a hard pick because he's just inconsistent sometimes. I feel like he's definitely a good fighter, but Emmett has really just impressed me, I think, when he knocked out Lamas. And before that, he looked good anyway. Like, he was pretty well rounded, good on the feet, he's a good wrestler and things like that. I'm going to have to go with Josh Emmett for this one. Will he get the finish? Who knows? We'll see. Next one, David Branch versus Jack Hermansson, however you say it. I really like Hermansson. Let's just call him the Joker. His name's the Joker. That's his nickname. It's a pretty cool nickname. I really like the Joker. I hardly ever pick against him. He's got like 11 knockout wins when really I feel like his ground game is his specialty. If he gets to the ground, you're pretty fucked in most cases. But most of his wins have actually been by knockout. I feel like his striking from memory is very wild and things like that. I wouldn't say he's much of a technician. David Branch is very well rounded. He's he's a champ from World Series of Fighting. I did used to watch World Series of Fighting. I did used to download that shit. And watch that. So I saw quite a few David Branch fights before he came to the UFC. Since he came to the UFC, he hasn't been that impressive, to be honest. I mean, I think he's 2-2. He lost to Luke Rockhold He's also come off a loss from, who did he lose to? Jared Cannonier. Should be interesting to see how he bounces back. On the feet, Branch definitely has an advantage in this one. I mean, look, again, Hermansson seems to knock people out, so not saying that's gospel, but David Branch really, I think his striking impressed me when he knocked out Thiago Santos. I wasn't expecting that at all. Branch supposedly is more of a ground guy as well. I feel like going into this fight, David Branch is probably going to be the favourite. I'm going to have to go with the Joker in this one. I mean, I just like that guy. I don't know why. His style is very interesting, and if it goes to the ground, he's very, very good at scrambles and things like that, and he's very good at submissions. However, doesn't seem like he really does that a lot according to his record, but just from memory, I feel like his ground game is solid. Branch is just as good apparently, but I'm going to go with the Joker in this one just because I like that guy a lot. The main event, oh my fucking god, Edson Barboza versus Justin Gaethje. It's going to be fucking insane. Justin Gaethje coming off his best performance when he knocked out James Vick. James Vick is very good, so don't underestimate James Vick. So that is no small feat. Edson Barboza is coming off a win where he nearly murdered Daniel Hooker. That fight was hard to watch. Hooker is one tough son of a bitch. But prior to that win, Barboza obviously came off 2 straight losses where he just got the absolute shit beat out of him by Kevin Lee and Khabib. They were also hard to watch, but it was good to see him bounce back against Hooker. This fight's going to be interesting. I believe Gaethje has said in interviews that he's planning on doing more wrestling now since he is a wrestler. He's a wrestler who just likes to stand up and get punched in the face and punch you back. So he's one of them zombie fighters. He'll just keep coming forward no matter how hurt he is, which is why he's such a fan favourite. Again, I used to watch Justin Gaethje in the World Series of Fighting, and look, he was good. I just wasn't that high on him because, again, he's beating these fighters. I'm like, who are these guys? And also, he was having back and forth battles with some of these guys who I'm like, who are these guys? So, since he's come to the UFC, he's really obviously impressed me with his Michael Johnson win, and also his fights where he lost against Alvarez and Poirier. He put on a good battle against those guys too, so I'm taking nothing away from that guy. He's an absolute legend. This fight should be interesting. Barboza, I feel like definitely by far is the better striker. Gaethje's got leg kicks just as hard as Barboza, it seems, but Barboza is so quick with them. This is one of those fights I can absolutely see Barboza just absolutely picking Gaethje apart for like the whole fight, and then Gaethje just landing that home run punch. Barboza, I feel like, struggles sometimes. He gets caught if he just can't put you away, and Gaethje is tough. So I'm going to have to go with Barboza, but do not count Gaethje out at all. Obviously, he's just one of those guys. His tough as nails. If you don't put him away, he's just going to keep coming forward until he puts you away. So, but technically, if it stays on the feet, Barboza is by far a better striker. But he does get caught sometimes. Got caught by Cerrone, got caught by Ferguson when I feel like he was winning the stand-up battle, and then gets caught and loses the fight, sort of thing. Yeah, I'm going to go with Barboza on that one, but it's going to be an insane fight. I cannot wait for this weekend. It's my birthday on that day, so I probably won't watch the fights till the following day, but yeah, hope you enjoyed my picks, and we'll see you next time.